I'm Cynthia James, and this network is about changing lives one woman at a time.
Hello and welcome to Women Awakening. I'm your host, Cynthia James, and it is such an honor and a pleasure for me to introduce you to powerful women, extraordinary women, women who have stepped into their power in a lot of different ways, but they're very clear that they're here for a reason and they're way showers. And so every week you get to meet a new one, and we are on all the platforms, Spotify, iTunes, iHeart, Spreaker, Amazon, video, YouTube, coming back and meet the women every week. And I'm on cynthiajames.net. You can go there, you can get gifts, sign up for my newsletter, and find out what's happening in my world. Today, I get to introduce you to my friend. I just love her. Her name is Shelly Lefkoe. She's the co-founder of the Lefkoe Institute. And her clients are people who've struggled with changing long-standing behavior and emotional issues such as procrastination, fear, relationship issues. And her approach frees them to live more joyful lives. She does this by identifying the root causes of their problems, their limiting beliefs, and she can eliminate these beliefs in a matter of hours. Her approach has been validated by independent research from the University of Arizona and published in the journal Clinical Psychology and Psychotherapy. So far, Shelly and her institute have helped over 20,000 individuals, making lasting changes in their behaviors and their emotions, and her online programs have reached over 200,000 people worldwide. She's a well-known keynote speaker and a workshop leader, and her new book, Hitting the Wall, Eliminate the Beliefs That Sabotage Your Business and Your Life, is going to be released 2023. So I am so excited, Shelly. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, my love. So wonderful.
Well, I am just so grateful to have you here. Before we get into all the details, how did you grow up? Where did you grow up?
Oh, my goodness. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. God, nobody's ever asked me that. And how I grew up, I mean, I'm still growing up, but how I grew up is I was the most blessed human being this lifetime on this planet. I had an incredibly loving mother. She was an angel. My dad was loving too, but he was like a typical father, like, you don't use your head, that stuff, but very loving. So I had a very middle class, kind of normal childhood, if you will. So coming into this work was pretty shocking to me when I started my personal growth journey, finding out that most people did not have the childhoods that I had.
Absolutely.
Cynthia, I did not know anybody whose parents were divorced.
Wow.
You and I have had conversations. I didn't know diversity was a thing. In Brooklyn, you went into the street, whoever was there, you played with. It didn't matter what color they were, what religion they were, what anything they were. So when I got into this kind of big, bad world, it was just like, what? So the work I've been doing for 30 years has been pretty illuminating to me.
Well, okay. And so coming from this kind of idyllic childhood, how did you get into this world? I mean, you clearly are a seeker, so you wanted to do self-development, but how did you move from your own self-development to becoming a teacher of it?
Yeah. So my husband and I met at a personal growth workshop called EST. And we both very much wanted to make a difference in the world. And as you know, knowing my husband, he was an extraordinary human being, really committed to making a difference in the world. And he created a process that 30 years ago, Sin, when people used to say to me, what do you do? And I'd say, well, I help people eliminate the negative beliefs that keep them stuck. They'd say, beliefs? What, you mean like a religious belief? People did not know what I was talking about. And today, everybody knows that if you don't change your beliefs, change is going to be very difficult.
Yes.
So he was on a plane going to California. He was looking at his own life. Why was he so stuck? But basically, he was looking at the question, he calls it an intellectual spiritual journey. Why do people know what to do and know what not to do and still do it or don't do it? So we know that if we exercise and eat well, we'll live longer and feel better, but we don't do it. We go into relationships going in knowing that they're not a good thing for us, and then we stay in them. So we read books and we have information and we know what we should and shouldn't do, and we don't do it. That's why people come home and 3 days after their fabulous workshop, the notes are in the drawer. It wasn't that the workshop wasn't fabulous, but they have beliefs that keep them from utilizing the information well.
Right.
So he was journaling, and he, by the time the plane landed, he had created this process based on this premise that people's lives were consistent with their beliefs. And he created a process that's not woo-woo, it's not airy-fairy. You don't write down on a piece of paper. You don't stand in front of a mirror going, I'm good enough, I'm good enough, I'm good enough. You don't burn it in a fire. This is science. We have scientific-based evidence. We've done research. We've proved statistical significance that change can be easy. So he came back. Here's the best part of the story. He came back and he says to me, Shelly, wait till you see what I created. And at the beginning, we were doing it in companies, but he showed me how to do it on a person. And the person said, she was a friend of ours, and she said, I want to get married again. She said, but I just keep not meeting men. I don't go over. He says, what do you believe? And out of her mouth came, marriage is suffocating. You have to give up who you are. Men have all the power. And she's like spewing these beliefs. And I'm sitting there watching, and he picks one belief and he helps her eliminate it. And Sin, I swear to God, it was like somebody knocked me off my chair. It was one of those, spiritual moments in life where I just went, I cry every time I say it. This is what I was put here to do.
Wow.
That was like, oh my God, that's it. That's because I've had lots of careers before that. And I've been doing it for 35 years.
Well, two things I want to say about that. First of all, that how amazingly brilliant that he got it, what could happen, and that you could see it, listen, and embody it, and then take it on. So I want to talk though, because he passed to another plane of existence a while ago. And I happen to have been with you in your world, in your life, watching the two of you and how fabulous. And it was hard for all of us in your life to have that experience.
Remember me and you in the hot tub?
Yeah.
For hours and hours and hours. I was at the pool. It was the pool. For hours. So everybody listening, women, I want you to, if I give you nothing else, I want you to have this. I did not know the difference between a P&L and a balance sheet. I did not know anything about running a business, nor did I ever want to run a business. I put any person in front of me, I'm good. Give me an audience of 1,000, I'll speak. Run a business, you got to be kidding me. So when my husband died, I not just grieved and cried, but I laid in bed going, I'm going to starve to death. I can't run a business. What, you know, and the beliefs that I had worked on were very important in what happened. But we have a process that we teach people to get rid of the meanings that we give events, like I'm going to starve to death. That's me. I made that up, right? So I got out of bed every day and I said, what's in the way of me doing this? I can
Great.
ask for help. I could learn the difference. My girlfriend, my best friend, who's like my board of directors, would get on with me every month and go through the financials with me. My bookkeeper helped me. My staff helped me, my team. And 7.5 years later, my business is doing 3 times what it did when Morty was alive.
Wow.
And it's not smarts. It was just beliefs that I could do it and the willingness to take it on and make mistakes and fail and say, you know what, I could have done this better or that better. And my mother used to have a saying, I may not be where I want to be, but I'm sure as hell not where I was.
Right. Well, but also you ask for help. And I guess any woman listening to here, we have a tendency not to want to ask for help. We want to do it on our own and we want to take care of other people, but asking for help ourselves. So that was really important. So as you're working on your own belief system, you're inviting people in, a tribe in, to help you move forward as you're dismantling those old beliefs.
And
Powerful.
miracles, yes. So I want to go back. I'm sorry. I want to just illuminate what you just said. I didn't wait till all my beliefs were gone. I made steps asking for help while I was eliminating my own beliefs. That's really great, Cynthia.
Yeah.
So
It's so powerful. Well, and so let's talk about building and grieving simultaneously, because that's what was happening. You know what I mean? I'm watching you. And so tell me, how did you honor the grieving process at the same time of learning how to run a business?
what a great question. Wow. I have a belief. It's interesting. You got to do what you got to do. I did not have, my husband was a brilliant, amazing human being. Money was not his focus. So I was not left in a position where I could not work, unfortunately. So after 2 weeks of grieving, good heavy duty grieving, I said, okay, Shell, get your ass up and in front of that screen. And I had my clients all day. And that's the other thing. I not only had to run the business, I still had my practice. Now I've taken it down. I used to see 25, 26 people a week. I don't do that anymore. But I don't know. I just think that I had to compartmentalize. I didn't have a choice, is how it feels to me. I couldn't get on my sessions and sit and cry. So my belief that serving people, making a difference in people's lives, helping people be free was important. And when I was doing that, there were times, I swear to you, I would have a session and people would say, how are you? And I'd say, I'm okay, let's work. And at the end of the hour, I have a 15-minute break. I'd shut the thing, I'd cry for 15 minutes, and I'd put it back on and go, okay, next session. I didn't feel like I had a choice. And I lost my father, my mother, and my husband in 15 months.
Wow. Well, but what's really interesting, because I've talked to performing artists who tell me something similar to what you just said, that they're in the middle of crisis, chaos, grieving, whatever. They have to get on that stage and do whatever it is they do. They get up there and do it, and then they come off and fall apart, because you have to show up for the people that you are serving.
Totally.
Right.
Totally.
Okay, so now here's the thing. Also, you're a mother.
I am.
So
As
you
a
lost the husband. Oh, I am too. And you're running the business, and you're seeing the clients, and how are you managing the harmonic convergence of supporting this family who's also experiencing a loss?
So my superpower, and this is so fun because this is not what I usually talk about in a podcast ever. All I talk about is beliefs.
Okay.
I love that. So my superpower is, and you know this, nobody has not nobody. I have a very busy life. I get up in the morning, I play pickleball. You know that. I come home, I work all day, and I either go out or play pickleball. I maintain friendships all over the world. I am the best friend. If you call me and you say, Shell, I need you. If you're in my circle, I'm there. No question. I just am. My girls are my priority in life. There is nothing more important to me than them. And I make sure that I'm connected to them, that they are all, now they're grown. I mean, Britt was 26, and Blakey was 31 when Morty died.
Wow.
32, yeah. So I was also, it was interesting. They didn't want to grieve the way I did. I wanted the three of us to huddle and cry together, and they all it was very different. When they talked to me, it was harder for them because it made Morty more present, and it was just hard. So that whole process, again, women, things don't always look how you think they're going to look.
Yep.
It's very important to not give meaning to that. Like, they don't need me, they don't want me, and they don't care about me. We came together when it was appropriate to come together.
Yes.
But
right.
we didn't get the three of us and cry together and go, oh God, no. They didn't. But we get together on his birthday and we honor him, and we do stuff like that now. But
right.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Well, here's the thing. What I love about what you just said to me, it kind of mirrors how you work with people, because everybody's different. Everybody's got a different issue. Everybody's got different belief systems. And so they come to you, and your job, not only to teach them how to dissolve those beliefs, but it's for you to be present with them to support them in that process. So when people come, what do you do to help you understand what they need in that moment?
So, first of all, I don't teach them how to eliminate beliefs. We have a training that teaches them how to do that. I just get on. So people come to me and they say, I procrastinate, or I'm depressed, or I'm staying in an abusive marriage, or I'm not creating my life. My life is very ho-hum. And I have a thing, and again, I want to give as much as I can that's useful. When you look at your life, ladies, is every plant being watered? So I always say, if you had a house full of plants, you would never water just one. So a lot of women are workaholics. They have to prove that they're just as good as men, and that whatever their, motivation is, they're workaholics. Or other women are caretakers, and they're very busy taking care of everybody except themselves. And they don't eat well, and they don't exercise. And so every plant in your life, your health, your relationships, romantic friendships, your career, your family, should be vibrant, and you should look at
Yes.
all your plants and go, they're healthy and they're all beautiful and alive. And so when people come to me, I look at what is it in your life that's not singing, that's not vibrant. And we work on what are the beliefs that underlie that pattern. So if you take something like fear of public speaking, there's 11 beliefs that it's the only pattern that everybody has the same beliefs. It's really interesting. And so, 4 sessions and you will get rid of your fear of public speaking permanently for good. If you have depression, that might take a little longer, but it isn't rocket science. If you think about what, I had a client this morning, she was raised Catholic and she has a lot of guilt. And she has the belief, if I do something wrong, I'm bad, like I'm a bad person, right? And if I do something wrong, I deserve to be punished. And so she has all this self-sabotage in her life where she's always making sure if she does something that she doesn't like, she gets punished for it. So if you think about what must somebody believe that procrastinates, no matter what I do, it's never going to be good enough.
Right.
Mistakes and failures are bad. And no amount of evidence gets you to know that your beliefs are not true.
That's
I've worked with 5 Harvard PhDs who had the belief I'm stupid. So they knew they weren't stupid, but they still believed it. And the thing about my work is when you go back to where these beliefs got formed, which is childhood, most of your self-esteem beliefs for sure. Life is hard, money is scarce and hard to get, mistakes and failures are bad. When you go back to your childhood, and I have people look at where their beliefs came from, and we look at other ways that they could interpret it now that they couldn't see then. But I ask the $1 billion question. Doesn't it seem like you saw life is hard? Money is scarce and hard to get. I'm not good enough. I'm not capable. I'm not important. And every client, I have clients in Uganda. I have a new client in Saudi Arabia. Blows my mind. Every country in the world. They say, yes, I saw that.
Right.
Now, you can't not believe something you think you saw.
That's right.
Right? If you see it, it's like, if I said, Cynthia has long hair, you'd say, no, she doesn't. And I'd say, no, she does. And you'd say, Shelly, she doesn't, because I saw Cynthia with short hair, right? So anything you could see, I'm holding up my water bottle for you listening, has a color, shape, and location. You cannot see, I'm not good enough.
That's right.
You cannot see, life is hard. You cannot see, money is scarce and hard to get. You do see your parents criticizing you or your parents struggling. You see them say, oh God, I can't pay the bills, but you can't see money is scarce and hard to get.
Right.
So when you get that, it's like Santa Claus. The moment you got, there's no Santa Claus, that's my father, boom, that belief is gone and never comes back.
Wow. And so your new book, Hitting the Wall, is that what this is all about? Talking to people about their beliefs and how they sabotage their lives and how they can move forward?
You're going to love this. So somebody heard me speak at A Fest, this friend of ours event. And he's an attorney, owns a law firm. He's a serial entrepreneur. And he said, that's the missing piece. That's why my clients don't listen to me. They say they're going to do it and they don't. I want to write a book together. So guess what the book is about?
What?
Entrepreneurship.
No, that's so great. Oh my gosh. Okay, all you entrepreneurs out there, run, don't walk, and get this book. Oh my gosh, that is so great. Well, because you know what? You want to be an entrepreneur and you're doing all this stuff. but you're not thinking about beliefs and what's happening.
And it's really not. It's really about your life. I mean,
Right.
it's a book for entrepreneurs, but it's really not. It's all about how your beliefs stop you. And my co-author, who is a serial entrepreneur, said something so interesting. He's from Russia, and he came here and he had all these beliefs, and he didn't have my process, and it took him years to get himself through the beliefs. He formed a company, and he said the company was doing okay, struggling along. But the minute he started doing his work, that's when he started winning awards, and he's in the Inc. fastest growing 500 and blah, blah, blah. And he won a New York Times award for the fastest growing. And it was when he started working on himself. And he pays for his employees to do personal growth work. He's got total diversity in his company. It is amazing how diverse it is. He does service work. So the whole last chapter is about being a conscious entrepreneur.
That's so great. Okay, Shelly, how do people find you?
Okay, so I want to give you a free gift.
Okay.
So if you go to eliminatebeliefs.com, you can eliminate one of the 3 most common beliefs for free. And then if you're really interested in reading more, you can go to Lefkoe, Lefkoe Institute.com.
Beautiful. Well, you're just so inspirational, and I'm just in awe of who you are and what you do on the planet. I ask the same last question of every guest. This show is called Women Awakening. What do you think is the most important thing about women awakening on the planet in this moment?
To know that who you are makes a difference. That who you are matters. And to live here's the thing. I just read something, I send my girls a mindfulness card every day for years. And this is my favorite pack. And one of the things said, if you're depressed, you're living in the past. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. If you're at peace, you're in the present. And for me, awakening is living in the present moment of what's possible.
Oh, love it, love it. Shelly, thank you so much for being here. And I know your book will be a tremendous success, and honored to know you.
I love you so much.
Thank you. All right, ladies, let me just say this to you. I say something similar every week. She just said something really powerful. You're here to make a difference. You're here to be a sphere of possibilities and potentialities that's exploding onto the planet. That's why you're here. And so whatever might be in the way, you utilize people like Shelly and the gifts that they offer to eliminate those things so that you can stand in the power and the presence of who you are. The world needs us. The world needs your gifts. I'm so honored to walk this path with you. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time.